Okay.
you. Welcome to the Pour Me a Story podcast. I'm Deb DeFrancesco, and I'm here with Kim Miles. Yay! I wish I had the drum roll button. I'm like...
You need that sound effect in your life.
Yes, I do. I mean, I have a lot of really good ones, but that one in particular.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm totally cheating right off the bat because you've done so many amazing things, and I want to introduce you properly.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, Kim Miles. Kim is the founder of Miles and Heels, which... I mean, first of all,
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
We're having a pink moment.
Yes.
That's what's happening.
To me, it's always a pink moment. I'm like, you know. And then you are a TEDx speaker, highly sought after MC, which is how I met you.
That's great. I was just thinking about that the other day.
It was like the 2019 maybe or 17.
It was before COVID.
It was before, yeah, it was definitely before COVID.
I was emceeing the Metro West Conference for Women.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I was like, I have to. I went up to you because I'm like, I have to know you because I just felt this kinship.
We had an energy matching, if you will.
And it's rare, I think, to have that and maintain it.
Yeah.
And like
for years now. So now it's been like 6 years.
Yeah. And you know what? You were on my Bitchless Bride podcast.
That's
which made me
that
so
was
happy.
super fun.
But this one, I want to talk about, like, you know, the word I think of the day that's in my head is womanpreneur. And so, you know, we're women who bust our ass and hustle, and sometimes it's really awesome, and sometimes it really fucking sucks.
It's a lot.
You know,
it can be a lot. Yeah,
it
can be a lot. Yeah.
And like, you're an executive producer, a creative collaborator, but I'll get into all my notes on you, but we made...
Oh, yeah.
On video, we made
How pretty are they? I hope these are on the camera.
So,
yeah, okay, so we're having a sip.
Don't worry if you spill. This is IKEA. Okay. She's not going to get mad. Oh, cheers. This is a paper plane. Oh, dear. Oh, she good. I gotta reach for it.
Loving it.
Love that.
Love it.
So what's in a paper plane is Amaro, Aperol, lemon, and bourbon.
Yes.
I think I got yours. That one's definitely more lemony.
Oh, really?
I'm not sick. Do you want to try?
I'm good. I love it.
Okay.
It's actually like chef's kiss.
Perfect.
Do you ever serve yours on like a block rock?
I do. Would you want one?
No. Because I'm loving these glasses. My husband's going to love these glasses. As I said, my husband always says the right glass for the right drink and the right tool for the right job. But it is always curious. Like, I wonder what goes through the bartender's mind if they pick to do it on a block rock or if they pick to do it up.
I've seen them both ways.
Same.
And it's so funny because it's funny too with a Negroni, which is my drink.
Yeah.
Not that this isn't, because I drink these plenty.
I was so glad when you said yes to this. I was like nervous you were going to be like, I don't know what that is. And then we'd have to get into it. But like, you were immediately so excited.
I immediately had to call our friend Mark and Karen because we drink them all the time.
They're so good.
They're so good. And so I was like, Karen. And actually I stopped by their house last night because I'm like, I need your Amaro.
The Amaro Nannino, I think, is the best one to use because there's a bunch of different Amaros, which I learned. I learned that the hard way one time because I had the wrong type of Amaro. But
you know, there's nothing worse than looking forward to your cocktail and then having it get messed up because you have the wrong ingredient or something. Like
Tell me this, because I go back and forth with my girlfriends all the time. Will you return a drink if you are so excited for your cocktail and it comes to you and it is at all subpar? Yeah. Are you the girlie who will return the drink?
1,000%.
Same.
And I'm nice about it. Not that you or I wouldn't be nice.
I'm never not nice about it, but if I'm going to pay $20 for a drink,
that's it.
It better be damn good. And if I'm not a big drinker, so if I'm looking forward to like one or two cocktails, they better be on point.
Listen, it's so funny. I mean, former hospitality, I'll send back food. I think it's about the way you do it, right?
Correct.
You're looking forward to it. It's
not,
food and booze aren't cheap. And I've been looking forward to it. I want to enjoy it. I'm with my friends. I'm celebrating. Or I don't give a shit if I'm sitting at the bar by myself. If it's not right, I will do something about it.
Most bartenders are not offended if you send back a drink. They want you to be happy.
It's also taste. You know what I mean? Or you're like, oh, I didn't realize you were going to not make it with the Amaro.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Like, oh, I didn't realize, or I picked the wrong gin. Like at Smith and Walensky, we sit in the bar a decent amount.
Yeah.
And because it's a little old school for me to sit in the dining room, but their bar vibe is very cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, they have this it's kind of gimmicky, but a kind of interesting thing. You shake the dice, and each dice represents a different alcohol for like my Negroni. So if I'm used to using Antica Vermouth and Beefeater Gin and Campari, they would say you roll a die and it's like Gunsmoke Gin and it's like a different vermouth and it's a different bitters. And it was cool. And like I did it once and I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
I did it again. I was like, this is not my drink.
Yeah,
I'm like, this like kind of reminds me of a Negroni, but I don't love it. So no. And I sent that back. And they're like, no, we told you it's $23.
Well, that's the thing. And I'm a gin girly too. And so I think I had said to you, like, I really would like to try a Negroni because I am a gin girly.
Yes.
And so many people are either like hardcore gin girlies or hardcore not.
Yep.
And I think it's so funny, like a lot of people, if they had one bad experience with gin, you're never going to have gin again.
You're like, fuck gin, I hate gin.
Like I'm a gin, tequila, bourbon girly.
Ooh,
Those are my vibes.
It's so funny. Tequila, I go back and forth. And I don't have this like horrible memory of drinking too much
tequila.
Good tequila is good tequila.
Yeah, it's good tequila.
Carrie Tabasky, my podcast partner, my last podcast, she is obsessed with tequila.
Yeah.
Big rock, big everything. Oh,
good sipping tequila is pretty.
See, the problem with this, I want to chug this.
Oh, no, it's too pretty.
I know.
Give it some space to breathe, girly.
Do you know
it's
how I am?
It's so pretty.
You know what's
so
amazing?
Pretty.
It's 124 right now, and I'm like, I'm not sorry about this.
First of all, let's just talk about the fact that this is the most genius podcast that I've ever been on, okay? Because you invite people that you love, okay? Yes. And I'm honored to be in that circle.
She's in the mix.
But more importantly, I love the fact that it is indeed 1:24 and we are having paper planes in the middle of the afternoon and we get to just gab. It is a genius concept.
Thank you.
Genius.
It's my way of breaking bread.
Love it.
Truly. I mean, if it weren't so disgusting to watch people eat, we would do that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I actually thought about it, and I used to have a sign, but then I felt like a little like, kind of brought my vibe down. Like, the space is important. You know, as a former event planner, having people be comfortable in my space.
You want it to be cozy and convivial.
Yes. Yo, that's a good word.
Isn't that the best word?
Yeah,
it really is.
That's like an
convivial.
SAT
I
word.
use that word all the time.
That's so good.
Because I really feel like at the core of who I am, conviviality is like making a place that people can come and be together and just like be and like hang in a genuine way.
Yep.
Conviviality.
I knew this was convivial because before I even started recording in here, I tested it out with my friends, and like my daughter kind of commandeered our living room with her friends. And so I brought my friends. I'm like, well, let's go in the studio. And so like 3 of us piled here. I was laying on the floor, like old school, like there's no TV to distract. There's no nothing. We just had cocktails. And then we turn on the recording equipment and see what comes out just for fun, which I can't air those. But
not for human consumption.
But it is nice. And I'm like, well, this is I wouldn't sleep on this couch, but
are you kidding? This is super comfy. Right. I feel like, I don't know how I look on camera, but like this beautiful little pillow is behind me. And
it's okay.
It's super comfy, but I'm also like, it's
pink. Well, as long as like
I'm comfy.
And it was funny. We were talking about our shoes. Like,
oh my God.
I'm wearing some Valentinos right now that
I'm wearing some Vince Camutos. I'm a big Vince Camuto fan.
And they're pinky. And
I know.
Like, we were like thinking, you know,
soul sisters.
But they were about halfway through these podcasts, I end up taking off my shoes, and I sit like I seriously fidget like I'm 10 years old. I play with my hair. I do all these things, and you know, I was whining about
you're being authentically yourself.
Yeah,
that's what you.
No one else is gonna do it.
You gotta do it. I love you too.
You're cold.
I am.
Drink up.
Cold. I know. I'm gonna drink to warm up.
Drink to warm.
That's medicinal.
Just medicinal. Just medicinal. Well, I'm opening. Will you have a cocktail? Oops. Will you have your sip? Okay. So your background. Okay.
Yes.
And as I was saying, like, you know, content creation, entrepreneurial, brand development, you motivate audiences, which I think is so obvious. Like, I'm around you for 1 second, I feel like life is amazing. This is like, seriously, like,
that's good.
You bring a fucking energy into the room.
Oh, thank you.
Great. And it's like I said, when I first saw you, I was like, I have to know who this woman is. And I was on a panel talking about event planning, being an entrepreneur, actually. And then afterward, I went up to you and I'm like, all right. And then we cultivated this relationship, but we'll come back to that. But I love that you said that you believe the best way to learn is while laughing.
Yes.
And I mean, you do. I stole this right from your LinkedIn page or your website. You wow audiences. The way you deliver is huge. I try and teach my children, like, you can be funny all you want, but if you deliver it poorly, it won't matter.
True.
But I mean, you've been in front of law firms, universities, chamber of commerce. You've worked with institutions, all shapes, all sizes. And like, how did this start for you? Like, let's go back to after graduating. You graduated Syracuse. I almost went there. It's funny.
I did.
With a BS in TV, radio, and film. So like, how does this like translate to what you're doing now?
Yeah, you know, so this is actually it's a very interesting part of the story because it's an integral part of the story.
Okay.
So basically, I went to the Newhouse School of Public Communications in the 1900s, And for the kids out there, not that any kids are watching, but in the 1900s.
No, they are, because all the womenpreneurs are going to be like, yeah, no, I need to know what a badass looks like.
Back in the day. And I majored in television, radio, and film production. And, you know, look, at my core, I'm a creative person, right? So it's all about, I joke that I kind of witness and view the world in movie clips, you know, and, you know, I can, like, a score will fill in my head and I can see the editing, and I just kind of view the world that way. But I'm a very creative person at heart. So, you know, straight out of school, I worked for a host of different production companies, et cetera, and I ended up working for a talent management company that was the talent manager for Chris Rock, Rita Rudner, Howie Mandel, a lot of big people.
So real boring
Mark
people.
Maron, a lot of people. And what I learned was that I hated the dark underbelly of the business.
Oh, yes.
It's very counterintuitive to who I am as a person. Yeah. I'm a very much what you see is what you get kind of a thing. And that industry is sort of the opposite.
It's dark.
And so I really was not as enchanted by it as I thought I would be.
I get that.
And one of my dearest girlfriends, she just said to me, she said, you don't realize this, but you were born to be a salesperson.
Yes.
And I said, okay. And
you have what they can't teach.
Thank you. It's about, if you can connect, if you want to be good at, hear me now. If you want to be great at sales, it's not about the widget that you're selling. It's about how you connect with the person that's trying to buy it. Okay? 1,000%. So all of you people who are looking to go into sales,
mic drop.
if you have people skills, you can learn the widget.
Yeah.
Okay? Because here's the widgets that I've learned in my life. My sales career took off. I had a huge sales career. I sold phone systems. And voicemail systems and wiring in Manhattan. Okay.
Wow.
So, like, you'd open a business and I'd, like, set up your telecom.
Oh, my God.
So, like, that, talk about a widget. Yes. And then 9/11 happened. I left the city. I came back here. I met my husband, blah, blah, blah.
No biggie.
No big deal. We'll just gloss right over that. And I was taking some time, and my father is the one who said to me, he said, you know, I know you're thinking about what you want to do next. He said, but I just met this person. He's a financial advisor. Why don't you have a cup of coffee with him? And I did. Okay. And 23 years later, as I sit with you here, I've been a financial advisor for 23 years. I'm very proud of my career.
You should be.
However, it sparked an entrepreneurial spirit in me that I did not know that I had.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Because when you work for these institutions as an advisor, you're basically running your own company.
Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't understand that. I didn't
Not
know
at the time,
I didn't know that at the time. And this is also a good lesson for anybody who's listening, which is your path to where you end up is never, it shouldn't be a straight line. It rarely is. I think maybe doctors and lawyers, they have straight lines, right? Because they have to go to the secondary education and do their thing.
But maybe they don't know, like, which side of, you know, the law.
But they know. Yeah, They're like, I'm going to be an attorney.
Yes,
I'm going to be a doctor.
That's what I'm going to do.
I think everybody else has a zigzag line. And I think that the zigzag is the most important part of the story, right?
Yes, it is.
So here I am running my own business very successfully. And what I did was I wanted to network with other women. So I went to my local chamber of commerce and I said to them, hey, what do you have for women in business?
You're like, nothing, sorry.
They said nothing. And I said, well, I'll change that. And I ended up producing and emceeing what ended up being the largest fundraiser for them.
Holy crap.
I did it on a volunteer basis.
Good for
I raised them a shit ton of money.
Good.
And all of a sudden, moon shined over Marblehead. And I said, you could do this for all types of organizations.
My God, Kim.
You could produce events. You could produce videos. You could produce talent. You could create content. And so here I am. Yep. I think it's been, where are we, 2025? Mm-hmm. So it's been 13, I can't count. It's been 12.
We're 11, creative, honey,
11
not
to 12.
mathematician.
Well, I am a mathematician because I'm a financial advisor, but I do very large numbers, very large numbers. But for the past 11 to 12 years, I've had my production company, Miles and Heels Productions, because that entrepreneurial spirit in me is greater than me, right? It drives me to want to create and collaborate. And as a matter of fact, I'm in the process of launching a third company.
No, you're not. Because are you bored?
I am not bored. What I am is I am just so spirited on the sense of entrepreneurship. And I'll tell you, I'm gonna weave it in here.
Weave it, girl.
The hard launch isn't even happened yet, but you're hearing it here first on the podcast. So I am with 4 of my friends. We have become full-blown octogenarians, and we learned how to play American Mahjong last year.
Oh, my God.
Or this year, early in the year, and we have actually formed a company called MAHJ House, MAHJ, where we come in and create elevated, bespoke MAHJ events for corporations, organizations, private parties, networking events.
I'm not surprised, though. I'm not surprised. That is amazing.
I'm having so much fun.
Why Mahjong?
Because it is addictive.
Yes.
And I play every
Do you play it on your phone, or do you play it like
You know
with
what?
the actual...
I have made a rule that I can't play it on my phone. I'll tell you why.
much.
Because I won't stop. Because I know me, and it's like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, but like I will play a video game, and I like won't stop because I love it so much.
I have that problem with my husband. I'm one of the OG Candy Crushers from like 2012.
Up top.
Okay.
Same.
Do you spend money?
I won't spend any money on it.
See, I don't have that.
No.
And that's the problem. And it shows up on our joint like Apple account.
No.
And Chris will be like, Debbie, really? $22? I'm like, I know, I'm not, shame, like for Modern Family. And they're like, shame. Like, shame.
Yeah, I won't spend any money on the app, but I'm smart enough to know to step away from the Mahjong on the app because I won't stop playing.
Oh, I was just going to say, but oh my God. All right, so go back. So I say I want to book you, and I'm trying to think, I'm having like my podcast party, and I want to do something different and fun. So you come in an outfit.
Here's the deal. We are soup to nuts. We bring the equipment, we bring the cards, but here's why we've got the secret sauce. We have certified Mahjong instructors, so we come and teach you how to play Mahjong.
Oh my God, see, that is
so
cool,
the whole thing is like, you tell me what kind of vibe you're going for.
Yeah.
My company creates the vibe, but we come in and we do instructional Mahjong, and then we throw you a party. It's so much fun.
I love
it's so much
and
fun.
I love that you're like the vibe. Are we gambling? Are we having fun?
Are we gambling? Is it Halloween? Is it karaoke? Is it disco Mahj? Is it pajama party Mahj? Is it cocktail Mahj? Is it high tea and tiles? Whatever it is.
High tea and tiles.
We do it for you, soup to nuts.
Oh my God, that is so genius. And also like, what a great arm to what you already do. Well, so it's like, it's kind, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
See, when you have a production company, okay, now this is its own company, but the point is that, again, the Zigzag, right? You don't have to stay in one lane. I think when you and I were talking the other day, I think I said to you, I would love people to appreciate more that perhaps just because it's unconventional doesn't mean it can't be successful.
And I hear that on a level. You know, I think if I'm being totally honest on this podcast, I have struggled a little bit because my third podcast, I have a Zigzag. I feel like you were on my Bitchless Bride podcast, but I went from an industry where after I had kids, it was really difficult for me to go back and work sane hours and still see, I wanted my cake and I wanted to eat it too. Mm-hmm. And I like got good kids, like for real. Like I know sometimes they can be like pain in the ass and annoying, but for the most part, like I got some good ones and I want to be around for them and I don't want to miss my own events for someone else, yada, yada, yada. So I was like, well, what can I do? And Bitchless Bride was hatched because I started writing. Yeah. And because my style, I was writing for Huffington Post and doing all this stuff. So it was like, it's not where I pictured myself. I wasn't really surprised. I kept a journal. I was always somebody who liked to write and, would write in a way I think that were invited people in. Mm-hmm. But it's hard because now it's like my kids are 10 and 15. Mm-hmm. They don't need me as much. They like me to be there though. So it's still this like weird, and it's hard. I feel like I've had to reinvent myself. Well, whereas my husband, and like not throwing shade at him, but he's been the consistent, like, this is what I do. And actually, Kim, his line was pretty straight. He was always a step ahead.
That's not negative. No, right? No. Not at all. Like the straight line is not negative. It's just that I think I want more women especially. Yes. I think this is the thing. I think that women can wear about 1,000 hats, but they don't have to decide that they only like one hat.
Exactly.
Like, what if I only wore one pair of heels for the rest of my life? That's never going to happen. No. I want to try on all the flats, the heels, the boots, the things, the sneakers, the whatever.
Like, I've gotten into sneakers lately too.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so my point is that I want women especially to understand at different phases of your life, different things are going to serve you. Yes. And for me, again, I'm a highly creative person. My business acumen comes from the fact that I'm a financial advisor. Yes. I'm a unicorn in this space. First of all, let's back up for 2 seconds. I don't call myself an event planner.
No. I
call myself an event strategist.
That's huge.
Okay.
And I know the differences, but tell people.
The huge difference is this, is that I'm coming at this with a dual lens with both sides of my brain, of the right side and the left side. Okay. So I'm coming at this looking at all the business stuff, all the margins, your sponsorship dollars. Are you profitable? The branding, the messaging, the marketing. And then on the creative side, I'm thinking about this as if I were in your audience, what would I want to feel when I'm at your event? Okay. I want to leave here feeling I've never been to something like this before. Most people are either right or left side brained people.
That's interesting. That's true. Yeah.
I happen to be both. And I think that's my secret. That's
really cool.
That's my secret sauce.
That's amazing.
Right. So it makes me a unicorn in this space. I'm very adamant when I say that I'm not a planner because I have to hire event planners to help me do for my clients what I do.
Yeah, of course.
But I want women to really understand that when you try new stuff, what you learn that you don't like to do is equally as important as learning what you like to do.
Yes. And amen, sister, because like I feel like we get pushed into this world. And you know, it's funny, I stopped loving it. I stopped loving the event planning. And partially because I was never going to choose the event planning over my family. I was never going to make the kind of money I knew like I had potential as a solid salesperson I could make, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't want to be pigeonholed into only doing events. And yes, am I good at it? Yes. Do I still like to do it? Yeah, of course, but not the same way.
Right.
Not the same way at all. And I still like to write and I still like to podcast and I'm horrible at the socials, but it's funny considering where my husband works, but it's for me, it was also about having my cake and eating it too. Yeah. And a Negroni or a paper plane and having these conversations, these very real and sometimes super messy and kind of like uncomfortable. Like if you're a younger woman listening to this, like run with this. You know what I mean?
Run with it and embrace the pivot.
Yes.
Embrace the pivot.
Right? So I just wrote a blog post and it's funny. The blog section on my website is called Soapbox because I get stuck and I feel like I need to get on my soapbox and just like say the shit, right? And this one was about stop saying being comfortable
with being uncomfortable. I read it. It was so good.
But it was like this fuck right off. Like enough. Like, can we just be like, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, when you're uncomfortable, I'm not saying like in a physical way. I'm saying like an emotion, well, maybe physical exercise and whatnot, but I'm saying like, you're not being stabbed, you know, but it's temporary.
Yes.
You go through some of this shit. I'm looking at my treadmill or my bike or whatever, you know, I've been training. I've been pushing myself on the treadmill. Sometimes it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore.
But there's there's reasons for you to experience that.
Exactly. I want to build my endurance. I want to run with,
This is the other thing that comes out of this is talking about like learning about what you don't want to do is equally as important. I remember when I started Miles and Heels Productions back in 2004 and if you had asked me back then, I would have hung my hat on the fact that I was going to do one kind of thing.
Ooh,
okay, and I was like, "Oh, this is it. This is the thing.
Obviously, this is it.
This is my signature thing." I did it once. I walked around with a crick in my neck from stress that didn't go away until that event was over.
Oh.
And I got by and got through that event by the skin of my teeth, both fiscally and mentally. And I said, I will never do that again.
Good for you.
I will never put myself in that position again because the ROI,
not worth it,
fiscally and mentally on that was not worth it.
Yeah.
I embraced the pivot. And I'm happy to say that the offerings of Miles and Heels Productions, the breadth of those offerings goes large and wide and all the things. And you can read all about me. But the point is, women need to understand that just because you said you're going to do it once or you did it once doesn't mean you have to forever do it.
No, I'm still pivoting this podcast. This is like 10, 11 episodes, somewhere in there, you know, and I've done, I think I'm Not Sorry. Carrie and I did, God, I think we did almost 100. I did like 50 with Bitchless Bride. This is not my first rodeo, but I am still trying to figure out what exactly. I don't necessarily need to be in a lane. I really like inspirational stories from women and men alike.
Yep.
You know, and also I also just think that like this is my podcast and I'm going to have it be whatever I want it to be. And if you don't like it, don't listen to it. I hope you do. And I feel like my next soapbox moment I'm going to write about is followers. Because I don't know about you, when you brought up that we grew up in the 1900s, if someone was called a follower,
right,
it was negative.
Totally different.
It was like, she's a follower. She obviously can't think for herself.
Exactly.
And like sometimes I'm like, this is where I rage against the social media machine a little bit, is because it's like, I struggle with that because I want people to appreciate and subscribe and share mostly. and like walk away with like hearing these stories and be like, oh my God, that Kim is amazing. Oh, Chef Coombs over at Basti, like, holy crap, he can really cook a chicken. Like shit, like stuff like that, where they walk away and go, okay, who's she gonna have next? So it's like I'm sitting here with the experts telling me that I need to stay in my lane and pick a certain genre. I don't really want to stay in my lane. I want to fucking zigzag all over.
But let me ask you this question, because I think that for younger people, if they're listening to this is also really important. So I think I know what your answer is going to be, but I'm going to ask it anyway, because I know what my answer is. I would rather have fewer followers who are the right followers than a gajillion followers who don't give a crap about me, my messaging, my branding, or what I stand for.
1,000%.
All day.
1,000%. And
all day.
I'm like not in this for the money. And that's the thing. And you know, we talked about this video camera, right? Which, and I like have a love-hate. And I know, you know, my friend Corey, a comedian, Corey's like, girl, you got to stop hating on the camera. I'm like, I know I do. But it's not even just how I look or whatever. It throws me off. It's like I'm aware of its presence. You know what I mean?
I never met a camera I didn't love. Hello, camera.
See, look at her. She's like, I'm gonna sing. Like, I can't.
I have to not look at the camera, basically.
And I'm like, oh shit. And then I really didn't look at the camera the last time. I'm like, oh, that's the side of my face I don't like. And stuff where but for me, it's like, I don't want to, it doesn't necessarily have to be about the money and about, you know, I really holistically just want to be on a platform or several, you know, platforms aside from like Apple, Spotify, whatever. But like where can I be heard the most? Where can I share these really great fucking stories?
But mostly I think what you care about, because I know you a little, is I think what you really care about is that if there's one person who reaches out to you and says, I listened to your podcast and it really spoke to me. Yep. That makes your whole...
Oh my God.
That's it.
I still think about it. I high-five people on Peloton, and my Peloton name is... It was I'm Not Sorry Pod, and now it's Pour Me a Story Pod. And when I was doing the podcast with Carrie, one of the reviews, I'm like looking at my equipment, one of the reviews was literally this girl that said, somebody high-fived me on the bike and I was dying or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it was I'm Not Sorry Pod. And then I listened and I'm cracking up in Target as I'm like doing my shopping. And I was like, oh my God, who knew? So then I started just high-fiving everyone.
Well, I think also the other thing that probably... And I don't even know where we left off in your agenda, but
I don't either.
My point is that, you know, I think that you just don't know who's listening. Mm-hmm. You just don't know who's going through a situation in their life, whether it's business or personal. You just don't know who's listening. So you might say one thing that changes somebody's mind. And I think that that's really the power of public speaking. It's why people go to conferences. It's why people listen to podcasts. It's why people read, you know, books. You know, when you read that, when you see the one meme or you read the one line or you hear the one thing, and all of a sudden you start to think about things a different way because of how,
that's huge.
Right? So if we are here and we're gabbing it up, but we say one thing that resonates with one person, then we've done our job.
Exactly. And thank you. Like, seriously, it's funny. You said the one meme, the one saying, you know, and I have a love-hate with those, but one of the ones that struck me at a difficult time was you have to trust the timing of your life.
Wow.
And it's kind of like, not everything happens for a reason, because I'm a goddamn hustler, man. You know what? Everything happens for a reason because I pushed it in that direction. Like, I have to believe that. Like, I can't, that's too trite, and I'm not 22.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I have to believe that if it happened for a reason, it's because I hustled the hell out of it, or because, Carrie Tabasky also told me her favorite line was actually she met a famous star. I can't remember his name at the second, but she literally said she was in television school and whatever, and she went up and met him. Ocean's 11, shorter guy, I can't remember. She was like, hey, do you have any advice for the people, blah, 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 like looking to go out? He goes, it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Oh,
and it was
wow.
like, kind of like this, like, oh.
That's fantastic. That's amazing.
Isn't that like a great, like, that's true. So kind of like to your point of, if one or two people, like, I want people, it's not who I know.
Right.
It's who knows me.
I love that.
I want to be thought of, you know, whether it's for the podcast or like an event planning. I don't do event planning anymore, but, you know, I can't help myself but dabble. You know,
But doesn't that speak to, that speaks to branding, right? Mm-hmm. The definition of your brand is how people describe you when you're not in the room.
Yeah, yes.
Right? So back to that point of like, it who knows you? Yes. So like when I go into speak at a conference, This just happened to me. I was speaking at the Worcester Women's Leadership Conference I've done that a bunch of times. And that's a great conference. And it's a great group of women.
Nice.
And 2 or 3 people came up to me. They're like, I follow you. I know you. I was here 3 years ago when you spoke. And you're like, I don't know them personally, but I'm just so grateful that all the nonsense that I'm putting out there is resonating. It's not nonsense. Yeah. Okay. I'm being silly, but it's not nonsense. It's not nonsense to me. And it's certainly, it's funny and it's done with my signature sense of humor, but it's not nonsense.
No.
And it's important enough that I care about putting it out into the world. Ergo, it's important enough for somebody to hear it.
Exactly.
And you just don't know what that's going to do to somebody else's trajectory.
And
you just don't.
And like you said too, it's like you never know what someone's going through. You never, it's kind of like that, be kind, you know what I mean? Because everyone, it's a struggle, especially now in the dumpster fire that we live in.
Yeah.
It is hard. I can't even, I used to read the news. I'm like, no, I stay as far away from it as I possibly can.
No.
And, and that's unfortunate. And then I have to try and explain it to my 15-year-old's taking AP Gov. Oh, I'm like, ouch. So what I keep doing with her is I keep going, ask your teacher.
Ask your father.
I should do that. Oh my God. See, I lost my place there. Okay. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything.
You're not missing anything.
Job after Syracuse. Okay. Oh, okay. This is one of my favorite questions. Okay. Like your first big break. Like you started Miles and Heels, you had that one event. You're like, well, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
What would you consider your first, holy shit, is this really happening?
That's such a good question.
And we can mull on that if you want to think.
Well, you know what? There's sort of two. I'm going to answer that 2 ways. Okay. So there's 2 things that I remember very distinctly. So before Miles and Heels, when Miles and Heels was just a kernel of an idea.
Yeah.
I remember that I ran an event and it was still on behalf of the chamber that I was affiliated with. And I remember running that event, and I'll never forget not only the amount of people who came up to me after, but the passion with which people looked at me and said, Kim, you're missing your calling. You need to be doing this in a different capacity. And there was such a profound sort of genuine thing there that people were trying to really alert me to. Okay. I remember that very distinctly. I'll never forget that. I remember the room I was in. I remember what it made me feel. I remember how I made them feel. And I remember saying, Kim, you need to pursue this. This isn't just a kernel. This is you've got something here. Number 1. Number 2, this is a great lesson for younger people also watching, or anybody really. I'll never forget when I took the leap to finally up my fees.
Ooh.
And, okay, so I don't know if it's because I'm a financial advisor and I'm not afraid of asking you for your money, because I manage it well or whatever, but just the money conversation has never been scary for me. It's scary for a lot of women, though.
It shouldn't, because you know your worth.
But that's the thing, okay? That's the thing. You've just hit the nail on the head, which is, I finally understood. I'm working on it.
I'm not driving.
I am. I'm a responsible citizen. I should sleep over.
Next time.
I would if I wasn't running an event tonight. I remember. I'll never forget it. I put my laptop and I typed that extra 0 or whatever I did, and I went, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? They say no, and we pivot.
Yeah.
And I did it, and they didn't even
And you know what's amazing? They probably were like, we would have paid more.
Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, Kim.
Yes.
Realize your worth, accept it. Subsequently, I'll also never forget, I was sitting in a parking garage. I'll never forget this. I was sitting in a parking garage. It's funny where you remember where you were.
I was in the garage.
I was
on the
wearing
3rd floor.
my Jimmy Choos, the black ones, not the blue ones.
Come off.
When you can't find those anymore, they're at my house.
Right?
What size shoe do you wear?
8.5.
You are so never seeing those again.
Shit.
Ever. We're going to do a timeshare for shoes. God, my girlfriend and I, one of my besties, we do a timeshare for shoes.
If you're lucky, I'll take you up to my closet.
Oh my God.
That sounds so dirty.
See, I should sleep over.
Total.
I was sitting in a garage and there was this company and they came to me and I gave them my fee. And they're like, we just can't afford that. And I said, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And without any explanation.
There wasn't anything after that. It was an I'm sorry, period.
That's
huge,
period. See, thank you. Because I feel like we have to be or you know what? As you get older, it's business, but it's also I don't want to go to that event that Halloween party, that whatever thing. And you can just say, no, thank you, I can't.
It's a complete sentence.
It's a complete sentence.
Yeah.
You don't have to follow it up with ...
Qualifying
anything.
it.
Nope.
No.
Making up some bullshit excuse. Like, no. And also too, usually it's like if you're good friends, they're gonna be like, okay, all right, cool. She's not into
off
it.
that night,
Totally,
right?
100%. Or like, I have the house to myself. Sometimes that's all I need to say.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's like, well, enjoy it. Walk around naked. Like
every woman understands that for sure.
And I think that adding the zero without saying like that, it's like the lift your shoulders and be like, oh my god,
unapologetically.
Well, see, and that's the thing. And would a man do that?
No, thank you.
Nope.
A man would not sit there and hem and ha and be like, oh my God, am I totally worth this extra zero? I'm worth the extra zero. I'm worth a lot of extra zeros.
Yes.
But the point is that, to be clear, I have different tiered pricing.
Yeah,
if you're a nonprofit, if you're a corporation.
Well, you also know what work's going to go into each kind of event.
B, I'm also big on karma.
Yeah.
Okay. I have done a lot of stuff where I have perhaps done it for maybe less.
Sure.
Because either I love you.
Yep.
I love what you stand for. I love what your mission is. I want to be a part of it. You're doing good in the world. Yeah. Ergo, I want to help you do that good. So I'll shave a little bit because I want to be a part of that collaboratively.
That's huge.
That's different than, well, we can't afford that. Yeah. That's not the same thing.
Then find
somebody that fits into your budget. 100%. Those are two different things.
I was just going to say.
And people sometimes don't understand that.
No, they really don't. And it's like when I was wedding planning, the same type of thing. It's like, I remember too that one of the mothers of the bride, and she was paying me. The bride really wanted to go with me. And she's like, all right, but I'm going to have you talk to my mom. She's signing the check and doing all this stuff. And I had like, you pay me the deposit. You pay me, I don't know, I think it was like 4 months. And then 2 weeks before the event, I get final payment.
Sure.
Well, I'll pay you after. I said,
oh, no.
I don't work that way.
Oh,
like,
no.
I don't work. Because no matter what, she would have been looking. And she wouldn't have even known maybe that she was looking for why, oh, well, I owe her, $5,000 after, or whatever it is. I'm only going to give her 4 because, XYZ reason.
Not how it works.
Like, and I told her, I said, I'm sorry if this is the line in the
Here's
sand.
what I would say to people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go to your doctor?
Thank you.
Or your attorney? Or your CPA?
Nope.
And you say to them,
this is what I got.
Sorry. I don't understand why we're different.
That's it.
I put in just as much hard work. People don't often see all the behind the scenes work, the hours and the hours that go on behind the scenes.
It's everything. It's okay. There's so much.
There's so much. I'm researching. I'm opening up my Rolodex. Also born in the 1900s, if you know what a Rolodex is, and if you don't, go Google it because I'm not going to tell you on this podcast. Opening up my Rolodex for you, and I'm introducing you to my sources, my trusted vendors.
They don't want to mess up because they don't want to mess it up for me.
That's right.
And they sure as hell don't want to mess it up for you.
So
1000%.
Everybody listening, boy, girl, green, white, beige, I don't care what you are.
Yeah.
Just know your worth and stick to it.
Well, and again, and the woman thing, like, and I harp on the woman thing.
You are a woman.
And I also feel, and I've found myself, if I'm hanging out with my girlfriends and we're talking work stuff, we're talking husband-wife stuff, wife, whatever it is, if we're doing those things, I kind of want to be like, well, would your sig other have a problem asking for what you're asking for? Would you, something along those lines? Because I feel like as women, we are so conditioned to take the no and be like, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Sorry I asked. Sorry to bother you.
Sorry. Well, that's why truly, when Carrie and I started I'm Not Sorry, part of it was we were so tired. Like we wanted to, the original goal was to, we wanted a podcast that would have women stand up for themselves through comedy, kind of very similar to what your mission is.
My whole through line is. Yes. My whole through line.
We got to be able to laugh through it. We got to be able to push
and laugh at yourself.
Yes. But you also have to stay strong. And so sometimes every now and again, one of my friends was having trouble with her work, whatever. I can't give too much detail, but she was having trouble. And I said, okay, let me ask you a question. If you were a dude, would this conversation would you come to me? Would we be even having this?
Right.
Or would it even be happening among your superiors?
Right.
So it's not a bad thing for you to be like, I said, go question it. Be like, hey, is this because I'm a woman? You want to disarm a man real fucking fast.
Yeah.
You can be like, hey, and maybe no, you just suck at your fucking job. But maybe it's also more than that.
But I also think that as women, and we're on a little bit of a tangent here, but it's an interesting tangent. As women, and I'm guilty of this.
Yeah.
You know, I'll sit there and I'll stew about something, or I'll think about something. I'll think about it to death, and then I'll overthink it. I've got great socks that says "Be quiet, I'm overthinking." My girlfriend gave them to me, and I love them. You know, and what I find fascinating is that in the moment you're overthinking this thing, and you're doing
Usually
this thing.
3:30 in the morning.
Oh my God, don't even get me started on that.
Girl.
And then you look back on it about a week later, and you're like, why the hell did I spend so much mental energy on that?
My best friend growing up, Candace. I know you're fucking listening.
Hi, Candace.
Hi, Candace. You probably know Candace. Candace once said to me, and she said this when we were young. I think this must have come from her mother. I was stressing, you know, building up and building up and building up and anticipating, right?
Yeah.
Shit that's probably not going to happen.
Ever, yeah.
And she said, okay, if it does happen, will it matter in a year? Ooh. Will it matter in 5 years?
Wow.
Will it matter next week? And you really, and like, you know, 15, 16 years old, it might matter next week, but it sure as hell won't matter in a year because everyone's going to be on to the next thing or the next person.
That's correct.
And no one really cares as much as you think they do.
I was just going to say, you're not that important.
No,
you're not that
you're
important.
Not that important. They're going to be like, I really like Kim's shoes. And the drink, like they're going to focus on the one thing about you.
As they should.
As they should. Like,
but you know what? You know what my grandmother used to say? I'm going to screw this up. My mother, she'll hear this podcast and then she'll be like, Kim, you botched it. My grandmother always used to say, worrying is interest paid before it's due.
Ooh.
Isn't that genius?
Oh, that is genius.
My grandmother was a genius. But my mother says it to me all the time. And we're both worriers. Me and my mom are both worriers, right?
Well, you have to say it out loud almost to remind yourself of not to do it.
Remind yourself, okay? Yes. And so it's like, what is worrying going to accomplish?
Nothing. It's a fucking waste of energy.
It's going to sap your energy. Yes. And then you don't show up 100 for the next thing.
Yes.
So
there's also drugs for that.
Yeah. Well, here to wrap this in a bow, besides the drugs, to wrap this in a bow, the other thing that you have to understand is like once you kind of climb that mountain and understand how to like check that, you can move on and free up a lot of mental energy for other things.
Well, and like I think for me, like as a parent, I take on a lot, and I've been honest with this, and my husband, it's like because I'm mom, you know, it's like my daughter and I will have our talks, and I love our talks, and you know she spills the beans, and then if I'm talking Dylan, and that's kind of when he's like, oh, I made a really good shot in basketball, or you know I got 100 on that test. I'm like, oh my God, why are you so good at math? Like just stuff like that. That's where some of the juicy stuff comes out, but it also takes up space in my head. Yeah. So if I'm too busy worrying about something that doesn't matter, likely.
You have no room for the important stuff. For the stuff that does matter.
For the real stuff. I remember there was like if you have a jar, right, and you filled it with all the little things, like all these little worries, all these little like the grains of sand, and then when the big rocks come, there's no room for it. And it's kind of like sometimes you need a visual, like as a creative person, like you need a visual to be like, oh shit, that's actually very telling. You know? Like that is something.
And you hit, you know, I'm not a parent. I have 6 nieces and they're like my children. Yeah. But as a parent, what they always say, like you're only as happy as your unhappiest child.
Yes. Yes.
Think about all of the mental energy that you need for your own self, but you reserve so much mental energy in your heart for your children. There's only so much room in that organ. Yeah. Right? Yeah. In that organ. Yeah. Right? And so it's like something's got to give. Well,
and that's the thing. Something's got to give. And usually it's like, it's me. It's like, I'm going to sacrifice myself before my kids. Right. Or, you know, not really in my head. No, I'm kidding. I got a good partner, I will say. Like, I love my husband. He's funny. We laugh our fucking asses off together. And that is huge. And it's gotten us through so many difficult times in marriage. And we've been married for 21 years. So it's like, you know.
In a row.
Yeah, in a row. In a row. I met him in 2000, Kim. Like, we got married in 2004.
In a row.
Yes. And I, like, listen, there's sometimes I would, like, gonna cut him in his sleep, but for the most part.
That's just marriage. That's just marriage.
That's just marriage. And it's also like, you're a dude. I'm a girl. Yeah. We're different. Yeah. Period fucking.
We just approach things
differently.
But if you free up that mental space, then you're actually being a better person for other people.
Exactly.
So you're showing up better for yourself and other people.
Exactly. I mean, I even just read a study that said, like, if women don't hang out with each other, if 22 is the magic number for whatever reason, it was like New York Times or something was like, women need the connection.
Oh, every 20, I saw that. Every 22 days I saw that. Yes,
right?
that
and
was
it was
genius.
Kind of like fill your cup.
Yes,
right?
yes,
And
yes,
so,
yes,
like,
yes.
there are things, you know, and for me, you know, regardless of my weight or if I'm eating healthy or not, like, I've always needed to work out.
Yeah.
I repeat that on this pod because it's important to me. And at this point, I've made it so that, like, my daughter feels that way. Like, I drive her to the gym, I do like all this stuff, and it's so important to me, but it's also like my release. It's like where I can think. It's where I like dream up with the next podcast ideas, and in the shower a lot.
It allows you to show up better for everything else.
Because exactly, it's almost like the way you can release it, you know? And other moms definitely feel that way. All right, hold on. I'm skipping ahead because we're like, oh my God. Okay, we just said that, you know, the best way to learn is while laughing. And
well, I
think
I want to be clear about this because I think that this is an interesting point. So for me, you know, there is no question about the fact that, like, humor is my it's my secret weapon, right? Like, I use it. Yeah, I've done stand-up comedy. I grew up on the stage. I'm a singer. I've had a band. I just, you know, that's my jam. It's how I write. It's how I think. It's how I interact in the world.
in stereo.
But I use it appropriately, right? And so using it appropriately,
That's really hard.
but connecting with others by making them smile or laugh, to me, I feel is one of my gifts.
Yeah.
And I try to sprinkle that shit like glitter. You know what I mean? Like, for me, that's kind of how I want to move through the world. Like, I want to make you have a laugh that day.
Yes.
I will be your court jester, but I'm a serious person to be taken seriously.
1,000%.
Don't confuse the two.
Thank you. Yes.
Don't confuse the two.
Don't confuse the two.
Yes.
Don't confuse the two. And it's like, I swear like a truck driver. I 100% do. I mean, I don't actually know a truck driver, so I mean, if they swear or not, like,
I know, right? Maybe they don't even swear. Like, maybe they don't swear.
Maybe they're like, gosh, darn
maybe
it.
they are holy rollers and we just don't know
and
it.
we just don't know it.
That's just rude.
Right?
Rude.
Did I stereotype? I think I stereotype. Oh my God, who knew? Hopefully it won't break.
That's your new jam,
I'm like,
right there.
She's just gonna keep her shoes on and just
kind of
for
like
those
be
of you
up there.
listening, not watching. I just put my foot up on the both my feet up on the ottoman. And it's very comfortable.
Looks good.
It does look good. Looks good. Oh my God. Well, it's so funny because, okay, so brand development, you have what I love about you, I mean, aside from so many things, is that you've tried on so many things and you do so many things and you are actually really good at so many fucking things. Like,
thank you.
So brand development. And like I said, with the Poor Me story, I'm lucky. My husband's a designer from a virtual standpoint. AI, all that, or UX, all that stuff. So he helped me. Like, I hired someone to dream up the space, and you know, I like cats and I like pink, and I'm fun.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe,
right? And you know, whereas my husband did my website and did the logo for Poor Me Story, which embraces
damn good.
Thank
by the
you.
way.
And like,
damn
and
good.
Truly, like he can see that. Like, what do people get wrong? Like if they're like, are they just not true to like their own brand, or like?
It's so easy.
I'm gonna knock this thing.
Anybody who is trying to not be authentically themselves, if their brand is misrepresentative, okay, there is nothing I hate more than when I meet somebody in person and they are the polar opposite of what their brand is putting out into the world. The biggest compliment that I get every single day when I meet somebody new is, you are exactly as you put yourself out there.
Thank you.
I take that as the biggest compliment.
It's huge.
Right?
It's huge.
Because when you are looking at me on my social channels, me making an ass out of myself, me telling a story, me writing one of my missives, me sending out one of my musings into the world, when you look at my website, when you look at my social channels, and then you meet me, there is no disconnect. No. I'm the same person.
Right.
So when I'm helping, entrepreneurs hire me all the time to help them get their businesses off the ground or to help them up level in business. And if they are a nascent brand and they are trying to establish their brand and their messaging, there is nothing I love more than that. It is some of the meatiest work that I do because you're getting in on the ground level and you're helping them firmly identify who they want to be to the rest of the world. Like I said about 15 minutes ago, your brand is how people describe you when you are not in the room.
That's huge.
So if you are describing yourself as this and then people actually meet you or go to your event and it becomes this, you've got a big problem.
It's so funny. I met someone like that. I was so disappointed. I won't out her. But I met this like big branded person and in the wedding space years and years and years ago. And I was so excited. And like what she put out into the world was almost like the veil she hid behind.
Yeah.
It was like the man behind the curtain. And she was like,
So disappointing.
so disappointing. And I remember walking away, be like, wow, that wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And like and I was bummed. I was like a little heartbroken. I like fangirled based on what I saw and what I knew and what I heard. And then I met her and I was like,
It's the worst. And here's the thing. Not only does it turn you off, but you're never going to recommend that person. Okay? So most of my business is, yeah. All right, I'm getting there. My God. Most of my business is definitely, word of mouth or referral, or I was in your audience and I want to hire you, or that kind of thing. In what capacity does that person then think that you're ever going to recommend them?
never.
That makes no sense to me.
I was
what I mean?
just going to say, and it was like,
Does she doesn't realize it though? She doesn't realize
I
there's
don't
a
think
disconnect?
so. I think she was popular enough where no one really
Cared.
Yeah, because she did have like an impeccable taste. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, and I'm not saying you can't have great taste and still be an introvert. I'm just saying what you're putting.
That's different.
Exactly.
No, that's you're identifying something completely different.
Exactly.
The other thing that makes me totally nuts is when people launch prematurely. I can't.
I'm not going to make the joke.
When you're not. Yeah, please don't, because I already thought it in my head and I went a different direction.
This is a cleaner podcast.
Yeah, this is a cleaner podcast than the other one. I can't stand when you don't have your ducks in. I'm not saying you have to have every duck in a row.
No,
I'm just saying that clean up have somebody else look at your grammar, have somebody else look at your spacing, make sure that the mobile view.
Font matters, people.
Font matters. Make sure that your spacing, on your mobile view and your desktop view are consistent. Yep. Brand consistency is key. I'll say it again. Brand consistency is key.
I think my husband just fell in love with you.
Please don't look one way on your Insta and look a different way on your, just on your fit, whatever. I don't care what it is. Yeah. Just be consistent.
Yes, consistency is key. Like it's just like communication. Just like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
very frustrating.
It is. I agree with you. The fonts are so funny. I mean, I'm sure you've probably seen them. Like font matters, grammar matters. Like I'm eating at grandma's or I'm eating grandma. Like or whatever I forget.
There's a great book. It's called Eats, Shoots, and Leaves. It's a very old book. And if you put the commas or the periods in different places, that sentence means like 4 different things. I come from a family of attorneys. I am not an attorney. I was the only smart one not to become an attorney. I come from a family of attorneys. And my father always says, a case can be won or lost with the placement of a comma.
Oh, I feel that.
Hey, Dad, that was for you.
Dad. Oh, my God.
Okay, so that stuff matters. And my mother was an English teacher and my aunt was an English teacher. And so, like, that stuff matters. Now, here's the thing that cracks me up. So, I'm launching this new venture and I'm working with 4 other women and they are just
with the MAHJ.
With the MAHJ, baby. And they are the most fantastic humans and we're having so much fun. But I can't do everything. We all have our lanes, but I can't do everything. And so we're putting up, the socials and the this and the that. Sometimes, you make a mistake and, you didn't catch the space or the period and that's okay. But just make an effort.
Yes.
Make an effort. And don't prematurely go out there when you don't have it all representing what it is that you want to represent.
I didn't launch Pour Me a Story until I had like 5 or 6 guests lined up.
Yeah.
And it took me, and like, so this was like, the physical space I think was done in January. I don't think I launched till April.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to figure out exactly what I wanted it to be, but I also was like, I need to have like good, juicy stories and people, that are also willing to share too. Another mistake I made too is like, don't prematurely launch, but also make sure that like, what you're putting out there is good quality, but also for me as a podcaster, I was like, will you share this, please? Like, do you know what I mean?
If I'm not going to be proud to share this on my social channels and I have thousands of followers, you're not going to, why?
And it's not like, I'm not just having you on for that. Like, to be clear, but it's like, but half of the marketing goes away.
It matters.
Exactly.
And
I think
it's strategic.
It's very,
it's wisely strategic. It's not selfish. It's not selfishly strategic. No. It's wisely strategic.
Yes. And it's like, I am building the following and this is a new podcast. I'm doing the things I'm doing my due diligence,
That's right.
I'm doing everything in my power. But it's like important to have like the people that are on be like, oh my God, I was so excited to do this. And,
exactly.
And collaborate. And really it's
correct.
And I think you never know where certain people are going to end up in your lives. You know, I was a very bad boss 10, 12 years ago. And this woman, I was a bad boss because I had a bad boss. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Who made me a bad boss.
That was your model. That was the example that you had.
It was more like you're going to do this, and I had to listen to her. And so yada, 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 I was a bad boss. And this woman, when I was leaving, not that position, another position, I reached out to her out of the blue, and I think she hated my guts, which I hate to, like, you probably feel this way too. Which most people, like, I might not be for everyone, but people don't generally hate me.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm definitely too loud for a lot of people. Or I'm definitely, like, I'm dyeing my hair pink. I don't know if this is a midlife, 2/3 of life. I don't know. You know, whatever it is. I know I'm not for everyone, but people generally won't say, I hate her. You know, and this girl, I would give her, I would have hated me. I hated me at that job. I quit after 6 months. You know, you all have one bad boss, and you'll never do it again. But to try and throw karma out there, to try and make it right, I was leaving a position that I thought she would like. And so I called her and said, hey, this is going to go up. I'm not sure where you're at right now.
Oh, wow.
But I thought of you. I could, like, I'm leaving it, but I'm, you know, HR, like, people are my friends,
yeah.
You know. And if I say, hey, this is who I would.
Yeah.
So she's like, thank you. Why are you doing this for me? I'm like, because you have to understand that the person I was there was not me.
Yeah.
I was a fucking puppet.
Yeah.
And so I think, and I forgot how I got here because of paper plane. All of a sudden I'm like, I don't remember what tangent was open, what flat, which.
This is going swimmingly. Talk about an agenda that's in that book, and we have followed none of it.
I'm like, she needs to stick. No,
all right, what's next on the agenda?
Hold on.
This is comical.
Getting past hello.
Oh, my getting past hello. Yeah.
And yes. And
I love my getting. Yeah. And then what's next? So
I was like going to say getting past hello.
Yes.
Keeping what keeps you motivated. I think I know.
Yes.
And when things get overwhelming.
Okay. Right. 1, 2, 3.
Tabs open. Go. Don't fuck
tabs open.
Like my head.
Don't close my tabs.
Don't close my tabs.
Getting past hello. Getting past hello is basically my curriculum that I developed with a friend of mine, and she's no longer sort of in the same space as I am, but we developed it together, and I kind of ran with it, where I get hired by different institutions to teach people best practices in networking.
Oh, that's
because
fantastic.
All of my jobs, all of my ventures, all of my businesses, all of the companies that I've launched, all the things that I do are 100% attributed to my ability and prowess and success in networking. Your net worth.
Yep.
Your network is your net worth, and my net worth is in my human capital, my human collateral, the people with whom I want to. I can't think back to your story about the woman. I don't think I can think of a person that I would be afraid to pick up the phone and call or to reach out in LinkedIn. I don't think I have somebody that I feel that it went that poorly with. And I'm really proud of that.
And you should be.
Really proud of that. Now, there are certainly some people that I would feel more comfortable reaching out to, than others.
Yeah,
that's just life. But what I love teaching, especially women, I teach unisex audiences all the time, but I love teaching women because for some reason, women have this weird hang up like, I don't want to be a bother. I don't want to be too much. Sorry, how many times is too many to reach out to you? And I'm thinking, girl, if you think that I've launched 3 businesses by sitting and unless they tell me to go fly a kite.
Yep.
Okay. I'm a financial advisor for 23 years. I have a very thick skin.
Yep.
And unless you tell me to go fly a kite, you're going to hear from me.
Yes.
Until, we close that loop.
Yep.
The point is that women have to really appreciate that they have to feel the confidence within themselves to be able to cultivate their own networking garden. Exactly. And I can attribute really all of my success to my hustle, my belief in myself, but the power of my networking skills.
Oh my God, amazing.
So that curriculum is something I get hired for often. Of course. And I'm very proud of it.
I love it.
And it's had different iterations over the years from where it started. But there's such little nuggets of gold, and I love teaching it because you can watch the light bulbs go off in the audience, and especially for women.
Oh my God. And thank you for sharing that because I think you're right. Not to be a bother, not to,
sorry.
Yes.
Don't mean to bother you,
I just followed up with somebody about something. And I was very careful not to say sorry. I said, I'm going to be a thorn in your side because I feel like we're missing an opportunity.
Oh, I love that.
Right? Like, which is very true. And like,
that's fantastic.
We had a very cool, I was directed to this person, long kind of convoluted story, but I was directed to them. When we finally had a Zoom, it was like it was instant. And then life got busy.
Right.
For them,
as life does.
And for them and for me. And then there was some talks of following up, and we never did. And then ultimately, literally last week, he called me and like we were chit chat. And he's wonderful. And he literally said, I said, I never want to be that girl. I didn't apologize, but I also don't want to be thought of as somebody who's like, oh,
her again.
Yes,
right.
That.
Exactly.
And I think what you teach is amazing because that's a fine fucking line.
Oh my God. You know what my coined phrase is to learn how to be politely persistent.
Ooh, double P's.
There is an art to the polite persistence.
Yeah.
And I know that I have mastered it.
Yeah. No, but that's huge.
Yeah. Because there have often been times where somebody comes back to me and they're like, I met you 7 years ago. And you're like, oh, okay, great. Okay. You know, nice
I couldn't pull you out of a lineup,
but you know what? And you know, and they say to me things like, you know, you kept emailing me and the time just wasn't right. Yep. But here I am again, but you always stuck out of my mind. You wrote me a handwritten thank you note. I'll always remember that. You know, the art of communication is something I pride myself on. I'm a huge communicator. I love to write. I do a lot of writing for both myself and my clients. It's my outlet. It's my emotional and mental outlet. It's how I process things. But, you know, I do appreciate that, not everybody is super comfortable with both the written and the spoken word. What bugs me most about what's gone on in the age of technology is that people have forgotten the art of both the handwritten note and the ability to talk on the telephone.
Oh my God, I still talk. I have like 3 or 4 girlfriends I still talk to.
Telephone talker.
Oh my God, I love it. I'm like, I can't. I'm a one-thumb texter.
Then somebody like comes back to you with a text after you left this long, beautiful, heartfelt message, and you're like, seriously? You know, but this generation,
like,
and I hate to sound like this woman, but like in this generation, these younger women have not really, and then add COVID on top of that. They really don't understand how to interact. And so part of getting past slow is to really let them appreciate human interaction again.
Human interaction. Yeah. And like how much we need it.
Yeah.
Like I like when you were saying, like I went over to our friend's house to like get the Amaro, and Mark gave me like such a warm hug. I hadn't seen him. I usually see him like pretty much every weekend, but he ended up seeing my husband, boring, whatever. So I didn't see him. Yeah. And so I walked in and Karen's like cooking dinner and doing whatever. And I walk in, he's like, hey. And I like have this such warm, I'm like, boy. I was like, oh God, I really needed that. Like the human interaction. And I didn't think I realized how much I missed that person because I see him all the time. Yeah. Until I walked in, I was like, dude, I haven't seen you in a minute. Yeah. You know, it's like so nice. But I feel like that is what I try and teach my kids too. You know, I'm a hugger. I need the human interaction. Talk on the phones. I gotta say, my daughter doesn't like call traditionally, but they'll be on FaceTime. Yeah, and that's okay. And I'm like, that's human interaction. I dig that, and like they'll do their night routine with her best friend, and you know, she and her best friend are like both in their like funny like headbands, like doing their thing. You know, their thing, and I love that, and also just taking it offline. And you know, even with Chris and me, you know, we try and eat as a family at least 3 nights a week, if not 4. Phones down. Like it gets harder and harder, but yes, go through your day, and it does because everyone's busy. It's like my daughter's texting me, and it's like going through your day and really listening and not thinking about what you're going to say next.
My mother always says, never underestimate the power of a kind word or a kind gesture, no matter how small it is. And the other thing that she always has taught me is if you always do the right thing, you'll never have to wonder if you did the right thing. That's good. So dropping that thank you note, sending that condolence card, showing up at the Shiva house, going to the wake, dropping off cookies for somebody who's had a rough time, running the errand for the person who's in the hospital. Those small, I'll never forget when I was going through my infertility stuff, and another woman with whom I'm friendly, she had gone through her infertility, and I'm not even super close with her.
She had gone a kinship girl. I know. Yeah.
She had gone through her stuff, and you know, she showed up at my house with like twice with these like homemade meals. Oh. And I'm like, you know, it's almost like the kindness. She's not a stranger, but it's almost like the kindness of strangers. Yeah. But the point is that interaction between humans is a different level than when you, now look, if you text somebody, I'm thinking of you. That also, that's called pebbling. It is. It's called pebbling. When you need
a word for it.
If you send somebody like memes or stuff on the internet, and you're like, I thought of you. This is so funny. Or if you send them a text, it's called pebbling.
Okay.
And I love that because pebbling is still letting somebody know that you're there in your mind and your
100%.
heart. And in this technology age, I do think that that's still a form of interaction.
I get that.
But let's not please replace human interaction.
Oh my
with
God,
that,
no. Oh
right?
I do love that.
So
because
pebbling.
going through infertility, I mean, that's a whole other podcast, but like going through it,
I can come for another podcast on fertility.
yes, but we'll talk about it because as you said, you don't have kids, and this came up on our previous podcast, and
then it can help other people who are going through exactly.
And like you said, pivot. I think that like the main thing is that women and people in general need, like, if something's not working or it doesn't feel right or if it doesn't feel good, you gotta pivot. Like,
well, you said, your other thing that you said, this is a great segue. You said, what keeps you motivated? Okay. So everybody always says to me like, oh my God, Kim, how do you do all the stuff you do? You have a band, you run 3 businesses, you are a great daughter, a friend, an aunt, a wife, the blah, blah, sister, blah, blah, blah.
All of the above.
All the things.
All of the above.
So sometimes I say, okay, well, let's be real.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't have children. So I don't have small humans who are relying on me for their livelihood.
And sucking a lot of the energy out.
And sucking a lot of the time. So let's be clear about that. I appreciate... I appreciate that I don't have children. It doesn't mean
no
that I'm less busy than the person who does have children.
No,
it's just
that's a huge, let's clear that shit up now.
My
I hate
husband,
when people do that.
So my husband tells a great story. So the company that he was with prior to where he is now, I'll never forget this. He would always say to me, Kim, because we don't have children, they automatically assume that I'll be the one that's okay with staying late, taking the extra project. And I'm like, well, that's rude.
That's some bullshit.
That's rude. Because that's like, just because you don't have children doesn't mean that you are any less busy or that there are any other priorities that don't take up your time. Yeah. So for example, I have 6 nieces, 2 of whom live locally to me. I am very involved in their lives. They are like my children. I try to be at everything I can be at for them. My father, his health isn't 100. I try to help my mother as much as I can. I run 3 businesses. I have a husband. I want, they're all the things.
Yeah.
And my friendships, like you said before, are super important to me. So when somebody says to me, what keeps you motivated? What keeps me motivated is that if I'm truly getting joy out of what I'm doing, there's no bigger motivation.
No, oh my God, that's huge. That is.
If I'm still loving what I'm doing, if I'm loving helping you out, if I'm loving working at that fundraiser, if I'm loving volunteering my time, if I'm loving helping my family, if I'm loving starting a new business, then I'm happy. And if I'm happy, I stay motivated.
Yeah. It's cyclical.
So when I start a new business or I launch a new thing or I write a new thing or I help a new business get off the ground, I get a lot of joy out of that.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's just inherently motivating to me.
That's huge. Well, no, wow, I love that. No, I know, and I completely know what you mean. Also, I think being happy and knowing like what you're doing makes you happy, makes other people happy. It's contagious. And how could that not keep you going? How could that not be the fire in your belly?
Right?
And and truly, it's so funny. I mean, not funny, haha, but like, God, I'm mad for you a little bit, which is another, well, you're going to come back. Like the assumption.
I'll be back. God damn it.
The assumption too, that you're any less because with the kids, and it's like, God, I'm so sorry you have to put up with that.
Thank you for that segue. So my TEDx talk.
Yeah.
If you go on and find my TEDx talk, I say right in the TEDx talk, I am not less than because I don't have children.
Yes.
That is an exact quote.
There are days I envy you.
I am not less than.
I mean that like with the bottom of my heart because I had a contingency plan. I went through all of it. And there are days pretend personalities aside, good kids aside. Like, there are days that Chris and I don't go, God, we could have been living in this city. We'd be fucking rich. We'd be, you know what I mean? All this shit.
All the things.
And I say rich very loosely, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, as my daughter's probably serial texting me all the rest of the shit she needs for Halloween, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it is such a crime to me that people, because I would be like, oh, I'm a dink motherfucker. I'm dual income, no kids. I do what I want. I can leave. I don't, you know what I mean? Like they're so like
different isn't bad or less than, it's just different.
It's just different.
You know, look, I live in Winchester, which is a similar suburb to where you live, very family oriented, very, a very, very well-respected school system, churns out high achievers, high sports programs, high arts programs. And I grew up there. I lived in Manhattan, lived there for 10 years, and then came back to Winchester thinking I was going to raise a family. It didn't go that way, and I've never left Winchester. Why am I paying the taxes in Winchester when I'm not sending any children to school? Because there's a sense of community. My family is surrounding me. But the point is, when you live in a community that is very family oriented and you don't have children, you often are a little bit like a two-headed monster. People don't exactly know what to do with you.
Oh, interesting.
So what I love about where I am at my place in life, I'm in my 50s now. What I love about being in my 50s is that I am unapologetically me. This is the path that I chose. Mm-hmm. We tried to have children. It didn't work. I have such a full, rich, beautiful life.
Yes.
And that's okay.
Yes.
It's just different.
It's just different.
Then probably the majority of the women in the community with whom I share, but that's okay.
But that's okay.
And sometimes you're met with a little bit of like, I don't know what to do with this information. And you're like, it's okay. It's not contagious. It's okay.
Contagious. It's fine.
And it's also, it's okay. But it was a bit of an adjustment for me, and it's why it was at the crux of my TEDx talk.
Yeah.
My TEDx talk is all about, surviving the big C, which is conformity. That's what it's called, surviving the big C, conformity, and it talks about your professional path, about having children, about marriage, and about just because you look different, your path looks different than the next person, doesn't make it less than.
Exactly.
And celebrate your path and shout it from the rooftops because there are probably a lot of people out there that are looking at you going, I kind of like that path. And
I like that it doesn't, it also, let's be honest, like when you have a straight path, it's not as exciting.
Well, it's back to the top of look at this. This is called I think this is called the comeback in comedy. I think this is called the comeback, right? It's the wraparound, folks. We came back to the top of the hour. It's exactly
with the reach around.
It's 2:20. It's 2:28. And we started at 1:24.
Oh my God, yes!
So there you go. It's at the top of the hour. We're coming back to the zig and the zag versus the straight line.
Well, and it's funny, like Chris, I'm telling you, went to art school, works design, like he's still in it.
Yeah.
So he's had some curves, I will say, but not zigzags.
Right.
But his curves are cool, and I will say this, and I say this to him all the time.
Your curves are cool.
Yeah, girl. Hey. I say this to him all the time. I said, he's always been one step ahead. He used to do print. Well, print died.
Yeah.
So he got ahead of it. He self-trained and took classes and did all these things to keep his own self occupied,
right,
and ahead of it,
and relevant. He did to stay relevant. Yeah,
and he's like, I need to stay relevant. Also, like the natural curiosity he has. It's like I'm so glad my kids have it. And that he goes and does something about it, which I think is great. So it's like, well, his path, yes, he went to art school. He's still in the arts. It's like, okay, well, I graduated food science and went to make cakes, and I'm doing none of those. I eat the cakes, and I understand if I kind of
You can order a cake, girl.
I can. I'm like, oh, Jenny Cakes or Paula. I'm like, oh my God, yes. But it is the path curvy or zigzag. It builds the character, I think, to go with the non-conforming.
For sure.
And I think that's huge. Oh my God. Should we...
But before we truly wrap, I do have a present for you.
Present.
I brought prezzies. Does anybody bring you prezzies on your podcast?
Chocolate therapy brought me chocolates.
Oh, well, that's important.
They were wonderful and delicious.
Well, I brought you prezzies.
Oh my God, wait.
Okay.
Do we see that this matches?
Yeah, it's leopards. They're little leopards. They're little leopards. Okay.
God,
I brought you prezzies. So.
Oh my God. Yes, girl. My shoes are like my children. I love them equally.
I brought you Miles and Heels customized shoe bags. There are 3 different kinds.
Oh my God.
These are for all your gorgeous shoes.
Oh my God. You are too funny. High heels. Oh my God. That is amazing.
And the third one.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
These are
Forward
also-
my mail to the shoe department. You guys, thank you. You're like the cutest.
You're the cutest. No, you're the cutest. No, you're the cutest.
Well, where can people find you aside from milesandheels.com?
Well, at milesandheels.com is going to be where all the fun is listed. And of course, you can buy my shoe bags at milesandheels.com. Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
You know, if you're going to be here, you're going to whore yourself out.
Shameless plug.
Shameless.
Milesandheels.com is certainly the best way to find all the things. I'm on Instagram at Kim Miles in Heels. I can be found on Facebook and on LinkedIn. I know LinkedIn. LinkedIn, it's a good one. It's just a little bit different, but it's good.
I was going to say it's
a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love when people reach out. I loved, promoting something as brilliant as Pour Me a Story. I'm excited to promote this for both of our sakes.
I'm so excited.
I love the fact that we met 6 years ago and here we are sitting on your couch, both wearing pink shoes.
I was going to say
It's just not planned.
I can't believe I still have them on. I'm
yeah.
She might be a little sweaty.
The energy. It was pink shoe energy.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. I still have to cheat because the podcast is new.
Cheat. She's cheating.
She does. Oh, look. I'm like, here, where to find me? You can find me at pourmeastorypod.com, pourmeastory.podcast on Instagram, Pour Me a Story podcast on Facebook. I actually am on TikTok.
Are you really?
I know I'm not 14.
I'm a lurker. I don't do anything on
I have
TikTok.
people helping me with it. Just put it that way.
Well,
I'm not
fair
really
enough.
good at it.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to subscribe and share.
Like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe, share with your friends. You never know where this particular pod or all of the other ones can make a difference. So seriously, thank you for being here. This was like, I don't want you to go. I want to drum up some other time.
We can stop the camera and keep talking.
Oh, let's do that.
Let's do that.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
hold on, guys.